In our previous episode, we showed you how to weave the harness and get all our D-ring and attachment points. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to attach two different styles of wing to the backplate. Welcome to Everything Scuba. Okay, first, let's just look at the physical differences between these two wings and how that's going to affect their mounting to the backplate. On this wing, we notice it has 4 mounting bolts, so you can shift it up or down from standard. This one only has 2, but more importantly for mounting and for our tank bands, you'll notice this one has slots that we can feed our cam bands through to attach to the backplate and hold that single tank. This one does not have those slots, and while we might be able to cut them in, it's not made to use that way. So we were going to have to use a single tank adapter that essentially will go through and sandwich this wing to the backplate. With this wing, I'll show you 2 different styles of tank bands. One, the typical cam band. We'll show you how to weave that. And also, this is a nice quick release tank band. We'll show you how that could be used with this as well. So we'll notice, matching our tank slots or band slots in the wing, we've put some slots in the backplate. So when we lay this down, these slots line up with the tank's band slots in the wing, and that will help hold everything together. Here we have a grip lock tank band. We want to feed it through. Both ends are Velcro. This one goes around that rod. This one just slips through. Doesn't matter which side you take apart, but we need to take that apart. Something we need to think about, if you're like me, you want these words to be up when they're in position. And so the little insignia makes sense. So it's going to want to be roughly that position. So now we're going to take this tank band and feed it through. We're going to feed it through this side, through the wing. Then the matching and corresponding side on the back plate. Now we're going to go back through the back plate and back through the corresponding slot in the wing. So now we're going to take our grip lock band, making sure that the grip lock name is up, it's facing the way we want it. We're going to slide it on the tank strap. There are a few places for us to try. I'm going to go to the smallest one. Velcro that down. Notice that rubber that goes against the tank is on the inside. And this would be our tank band. This is just a preliminary length. We will adjust. We can adjust on both sides for our tank size and the adjusting diameters. So now we have both of our tank bands through the wing as well as through the back plate. And while with the tank on here, the wing would be captured and would be fine, some divers don't like that moving around. So one way that we can hold them together are with some of these book bolts, or some people call them sex bolts. There are male and female ends. These Apex ones are very expensive and they have a fancy little O-ring to help keep them tight. Basically, we're going to feed through. So now we have, from the back side, we have one through. Notice that brass grommet. Remember on our harness when we weaved it, we lined that up. That's the center of that single piece webbing. Now we line it up and we want to make sure that we're going through that with our book bolt. Get this other side on. I don't have a torque spec for how tight these should be. I get as tight as I can by hand, and you'll notice there's a slot on either side. I've used a coin or a small piece of metal. If you had a really large flat-bladed screwdriver, you could tighten that up just a little bit more. Again, they have that O-ring. When that compresses, that helps keep that tight, so vibration isn't going to make it come loose. Now we'll install this lower book bolt, and then we'll show you how the whole thing comes together. So now we've attached a tank. We adjusted the tension on the straps so they're sized to fit the tank. You can see how they're going to work. And then you can see how this wing is now captured in between the back plate and the tank. And it's nice. I like the slots in the back plate, so you can go without a single tank adapter and go straight through. So now everything is nice and locked solid together. Okay, so we already showed you the grip lock style, but not everybody has that. If you have just a standard old cam band tank strap, we're going to show you how to go through that as well. And obviously we wouldn't typically mix these, but for demonstration purposes we'll show you. So we've got it all opened up. We're going to, just like we did before, feed through the wing as well as the back plate. So now we have the strap through, and this one is really nice. It has a nice little instruction tag there, as well as little numbers pointing to the slots in the direction 1 through 4 that you're going to go. Not all of them have that. Okay, so now we're going to thread this standard cam buckle. One tip, so you'll notice this has these little locking knobs. We need to unlock that. So again, we're going to unlock that. We want that to be open. It'll make it easier for us. Now we're looking for slot 1, and there's a nice little arrow. Slot 1 is underneath. We're going to take the strap. It's going underneath slot 1. Now we come back to this side and we see number 2, and they have a nice little arrow for us. So number 2, we're going back through. We come back to this side. We see, okay, there's number 3, and it's pointing to this slot. Number 3, pull it through, and then we're looking for number 4. Number 4 is folding back on itself, going into that slot. We're pulling out. So once we have a tank in here and the length is correct, we will snap this down. And again, it needs to lock down, and then this Velcro is just to keep that extra tight. So now we'll show you the other method using a single tank adapter if you have a wing that does not have slots, or if you have a back plate that does not have slots. To mount the wing on the back plate, it's going to be sandwiched between the single tank adapter and the back plate. So we're going to match up, we want to make sure our inflator is on the back side away from us, so it comes over our left shoulder. Our top grommet on the wing, we're going to match up with the grommet in our harness, as well as one of the harness holes, or the holes in the back plate. The bottom grommet is going to line up with this slot. It lays over. So we have this single tank adapter. We have these Highland Cambands already fed through. We're using these book screws. This could also be attached with a stainless steel carriage bolt like you would use for doubles with a wing nut. So you can see with the single tank adapter laying underneath, the female version or side is sticking up through the grommets in the wing. We're going to line up this top one with this grommet in the harness, as well as the hole in the back plate. There you can see we're lined up. We're going to go with this center hole, and I'm going to thread this top bolt in. You can see at the bottom there's no harness there, so it's a little bit shorter. We can run those down finger tight for right now. We want everything to still be able to move a little bit at this point. We may, when we adjust this, we may want to go up or down a hole, and so we want them to be loose. When we are finished and we're happy with the holes that we chose, we're going to use, you can use some coins, you can use a really wide screwdriver, but you're going to tighten these down. So now you'll see this is a very nice, simple, streamlined scuba rig to go dive with. So now that we've attached our wing, our harness is all ready, and our back plate is ready, before you go diving, we need to size this so it fits you properly. In the next episode, we're going to show you how to adjust the harness to fit your body and to position this back plate where it's going to get you the best trim position in the water. Click the link below to check out that video.